I gotta say this with them up here, right? God bless Texas. You all know him from his pretty smile.
Freedom!
And his laughter. Anyways, I'm getting out of here. Let's let Senator Ted Cruz do some talking for us. Welcome to the stage.
God bless the truckers. Let me just say to each of you, thank you for being here. Thank you for speaking out. Thank you for giving your voice. You are standing up. You're standing up for truckers across the country, but you're standing up for every man, every woman, every child in America.
Yeah.
You're standing up for freedom.
Yes.
This didn't used to be that complicated a proposition. It ought to be your choice what you put in your body.
Yeah.
It ought to be your choice what health care decisions you make.
That's right.
And it damn sure ought to be your choice what health care is done to your kids. Now look, we've all got our rights. If you choose to get the COVID vaccine, that's your choice. Fantastic.
Right.
But if you make the choice not to, that's your choice also.
Yes.
And it shouldn't be a bunch of petty government tyrants who are trying to force you to make a personal health care decision.
Right.
You know, 2 years ago when this pandemic started, you had lots of politicians who would give speeches about heroes. When these idiot politicians shut down small businesses and schools all over the country, you heard those same politicians talking about the hero truck drivers that made our supply chain move, that put food on the shelves, that ensured that people had what they need for day-to-day life. Now suddenly those same heroes that they were praising, they're trying to get fired. We heard about first responders. These politicians are trying to fire cops and firefighters who dare make the decision for their own health care. Doctors and nurses.
And teachers.
How many poetic speeches did we hear about the heroes on the front line until these idiots say, sorry, if you don't comply, you're fired.
Absolutely.
Now we're zero.
Soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines,
Teachers.
nurses.
Teachers.
And teachers. Yeah.
It is fundamentally wrong. I'll tell you, I've talked to Navy SEALs who spent a decade or more defending our nation, who trained, who've gone through incredible training to risk their lives to keep us safe, and now these idiots are saying, you're fired if you don't comply. It is fundamentally wrong.
Why are they doing it?
And I want to tell you, your voice is being heard. When the Canadian truckers began speaking up, the eyes of the world were transfixed on Canada. Canadian truckers, they were standing up for Canadian freedom, but they were standing up for Americans as well.
Where's all the road
And this convoy is carrying on that same spirit. And let me take a minute to speak to the folks in the media
He's good though. At least.
who want to portray you guys as a bunch of violent criminals. That is utter and complete garbage.
Thank you.
The men and women here, you are exercising your First Amendment right to free speech
Yes.
and peaceful protest. And something the left doesn't seem to understand. If you engage in violence, you go to jail. But if you don't engage in violence, if you're exercising free speech, you got a right to do that. Whether I agree with what you're saying or not, you got a First Amendment right to speak out and say what you believe.
Yes.
But in this case, what you're speaking out for is the freedom of people all across this country. And so I am proud to stand with you. I am proud to stand alongside you as we fight for freedom. And people are waking up all across this country. People are waking up. And there's a very simple message. You know, several of us met earlier this week in the Capitol. There were a bunch of reporters. Oh, at one point, one of the reporters from a left-wing outlet said, you know, all you fevered truck drivers.
We are fevered.
As I look around, I don't see any fevers. I do see people who are pissed off.
Passionate. We're passionate.
But, you know, they ask, what do you want? All right, I'm going to put it really simply for the reporters that are not all that bright and not all that honest. What the men and women want here is for the government to leave you the hell alone. And that is the most American sentiment you can imagine. It is your life. It is your health care. It is your speech. It is your freedom, and you have the right to speak and make the choices for your own family. The Constitution protects it, and we will stand and fight and demand it. And God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.